Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Vayigash from Revii to Chamishi. Today we're going to take a short but deeper look at one of the Pesukim regarding the incident after Yosef reveals his identity to his brothers. He sends them gifts, and including in the gifts for them, he also has gifts for his father, as Perek Mem Hey Pasuk of Gimel, Ulaviv Shalach Kizos Asar Chamorim. And to his father he sent like this 10 donkeys, Nosem Mitov Mitzrayim, carrying the loads of the best of Egypt. So the Gemarra in Megilla explains, as cited by Rashi, that we're talking here about Yayin Yasan, old wine, Shadas Kinem Nocha Hemenu, that the elders enjoy it. So Reb Shimon Schwab has asked a few questions. Firstly, is Yaakov such a wine drinker that he needs 10 donkeys of wine? And also, is he a wine drinker at all? He's mistapik b'muad. He's satisfied with a little bit. He's Yosef Ohalim. He's not someone who needs this fine wine. And the third question is, why is the wine called Tuv Mitzrayim? As somewhere else says, it's not. Egypt is not known to be a wine producing place, and in fact, it would be Eretz Yisrael that's known for good wine. Are you going to sell snow to the Eskimos? So Rosh Schwab answers that the Avos, as we know, they kept Kol Torah Kula even before Matan Torah, and that included Stam Yain. They wouldn't have wine from someone else that could be Oved Avodah Zarah, and therefore Yosef is explaining by saying that no, this is okay. This is good stuff because the laws of Egypt don't allow you to use wine for avodah zarah, and therefore there's no chash of halacha of any shemetz iser. That's why it says the dasikenim, which he calls for those who learn in the Torah, they learn in the yeshiva, so they're not going to be worried about the fact that there's any risk of being unkosher wine, and that's why it's nochal mimena, that there's no question there. And Yosef, he understood that his brothers, now that he revealed who he was, or is, that they're going to be sad, they're going to be upset. So he wanted to have his brothers feel better, as wine helps someone feel better by drinking wine. So he sent his father these 10 donkeys full of wine for the brothers that sold him, for the 10 brothers, not Binyamin, but for the other 10 brothers who sold him, so that they could be not saddened. The other message of the fact that he had the wine, the old wine, was as a message to Yaakov to say, in the Pirkei Avos we learned that there is some jugs that are filled, that are new looking, but they're filled with old wine, and there's some old jugs that are filled with new wine that's not as good. And Yosef was telling his father, don't worry, I am an old wine. I've still learned and kept the way that I was before I went to Eretz Yisrael. And despite my external appearance, that I am a new person, that I am the leader and the assistant to the king of Egypt, no, I'm really still that good Yayin Yashan that you had taught me beforehand. And that's why the next thing he sends is the agalos, the wagons, that refer as a hint to the fact that the last thing that Yosef learned with Yakov Avinu was the laws of Egla Rufa. If someone is inadvertently killed outside of town, the whole proceedings that goes then. And the fact that Yosef was able to show that, remember, this is what I learned 22 years later, I remember what I was learning, I haven't changed, is what made Yaakov happy and made him want to go and see his son, because he was chai, he was chayim, he was living on a spiritual level, not just physically saved in Egypt. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful Shabbos and a wonderful week.